Hello everyone, this is Yana, and in this video I want to share a funny birthday card idea featuring layered dry embossing using stencils. I'm going to be making a fun piggy card using supplies from the Simon Says stamp Falling for Your Release. So here's the adorable party animals stamp set I will be using to do my stamping. I'm going to start by stamping a word birthday in the center of my white cardstock panel. And I'm using Neenah Solar White cardstock today, and I've trimmed this panel to 4 by 5.5 inches. I'm using Hero Art's yellow to orange ombre ink pad to stamp the sentiment. I'm going back and forth, or I guess I should say up and down the ink pad, trying to blend the colors so that there are no harsh lines between the yellow and the orange inks. After I've stamped the sentiment, I'm going to start working on my dry embossing. Here I have the cool Simon Says stamp bouquet stencils. There's one with large dots, one with medium dots, and one with really tiny small dots. And these are all sold in one package and are intended for making fun bouquet backgrounds using inks. I'm going to do something different with these today. I'm going to dry emboss these, and I won't be doing any inking or any blending at all. Stencils are always fun to use for dry embossing, and this is actually one of my favorite techniques when it comes to these tools. Okay, I'm going to start building an embossing sandwich for my die cutting machine. I'm using a grand caliber machine from Spellbinders, and here I have a gray base plate with tan embossing mat, my stamped cardstock, my stencil on top, and my pink embossing plate. You will need to get a Spellbinders tan embossing mat to be able to emboss with stencils. This is the exact same mat that is used to emboss with Spellbinders dies. So if you have a mat like that, you're all set to go. Once my sandwich is ready, I'm sending it through my grand caliber machine. I usually use my Artisan Explorer machine from Spellbinders for all of my die cutting and embossing. This is a much smaller machine and it fits nicely on my table, and I don't even have to move it when I'm working. But since the stencils that I'm using today are 6 by 6 inches, they won't fit into the Artisan Explorer machine, so this is why I'm using grand caliber. After I remove the stencil with the large dots, you can instantly see the beautiful bouquet embossing. Now, since this dry embossing adds dimension to your paper, it is important to do any stamping before adding the embossing to make the stamping look as nice or as detailed, as crisp as possible. If you try to stamp something onto the embossed surface, the impression might not be as crisp, and this will especially show on large solid images. The outline images or detailed sentiments like this one are a little bit more forgiving. Now, to make the bouquet look more realistic, I'm going to emboss the second stencil with medium dots in the same way. The first layer of embossing is going to get flattened a bit, but the bouquet circles will still remain visible there on the paper, so don't worry that this second embossing will ruin your project. It will end up looking more like a texture rather than embossing in the end. And finally, I'm going to do the third layer as well, so again I'm building the same sandwich for embossing and sending this through my machine. Here is what my paper ended up looking like in the end. Lots of fun little dots scattered around the stamped birthday sentiment. So next I'm going to do some stamping and some coloring. I'm using Memento Tuxedo Black ink and stamping the images from the Party Animals set. I want to color these with alcohol markers. I'll be using Copics today, so this is why I've picked this particular Copic friendly ink. I'm stamping the little piggy guy, a couple of presents because my piggy is bringing more than one gift to the party, a banner, and also a flag. Here's the look at the Copic colors that I'll be using for my coloring today. I just want to say that I'm no pro. I just like to play around and enjoy my coloring and not stress about doing it right. So I've started with the R20 blush marker and colored the tummy, nose, and ears of my piggy. To add some shadows, I'm using R22 and then going back to the R20. Like I said, I'm far from being a professional, so if you find this part a little boring, just go ahead and skip a minute or two. I'm also going to use the same color for the gifts and for the banners. Since these images are so small, I'm not even going to use a third color for my coloring. I'm just doing a simple 2-color blend here. For the body of my little piggy guy, I'm using the E02 and then E11 to add highlights. Now, I don't have a whole lot of colors. I only have about 50 markers or so. So I'm using whatever colors I have on hand. These are pretty expensive, so I'm trying to work with what I have and occasionally buy a marker or two to grow my collection. I've decided to add a third color for the piggy, darkest one, and I'm going with the E13 and just adding some shadows here and there, not really stressing about if I'm doing it right or wrong. I just want to have a cute little pig for my card, not an expertly colored pig. Now there are matching dies there that will save you a ton of time. I don't have those, so I'm going to go the old-fashioned way and use my scissors to fussy cut these out. Now I've added my stamped and dry embossed panel onto an A2 top folding card base using foam adhesive, and I've also arranged the piggy, the gifts, and other elements onto my card. I'm going to use some more pop dots to adhere a few of these elements onto my card. I want the piggy guy to be raised above the rest of the background. This will help him to stand out, and the same goes for the happy flag. Oh, I forgot to mention that I stamped a happy sentiment there before I cut that banner or that flag out. Next, I'm using multi-matte medium adhesive from Ranger to add the little gifts, and then foam dots again to add one little gift in the middle. This little guy is bringing lots and lots of gifts to the party. You want to have him as a guest. Okay, I've also added a tiny dot of glue to the pole of that flag to adhere it to the piggy's hand to make sure it looks like the little piggy guy is holding the flag, the happy flag. Finally, I decided to add some sparkle to my card and used my Wink of Stella glitter pen to add some glitter to the banner, to the gift, and honestly to just about anything there. I have to say I really love using this pen. It is awesome. I also decided to add two little yellow puffy sticker stars on both sides of my stamped birthday, and also to add a couple more stamped elements in yellow. I should have done that before I embossed my background, but I didn't know that I would want these there at the time. And since these are really detailed, nobody's going to know that I've stamped them after I finished my card. And voila! My little piggy happy birthday card is finished. I hope you've enjoyed this dry embossing technique using the bokeh stencils shown in this video, and we'll give it a try. You can find the list of supplies in the video description and also on my blog. Thanks for watching! Please click the thumbs up button if you'd like to see more videos like this. Drop me a comment and maybe share this video with your crafty friends. Thanks so much! I'll see you next time. Bye bye!